and dear scholars. There's a slight change in my title. So I brought in cultural memory in the work of Perumal Murugan. So my new advanced title is Romantic Memory and Cultural Memory to explore Perumal Murugan as a romantic writer. So this is along with my guide, Dr. Beenaji, that I'm presenting, and I'm a scholar from Riva University, Bangalore. So I'll just read out my abstract for getting a better understanding of the overview of my paper. Perumal Murugan romanticizes gender and nature as an attraction towards folklore. Is that it talks about the surrounding in which he was born and grew up, and that kind of life and culture has some importance. Said Perumal Murugan with a conversation with Geeta Hariharan. So I just wanted to say that Perumal Murugan is this contemporary Tamil writer, and the works that I've dealt with are his translated novels is one thing. And the next thing is he greatly talks about caste, he talks about class, he talks about culture, and a lot to do with folklore, where he employs the Tamil culture. Having said that, in specific, he talks about the Congo region. Perumal Murugan is a born-again writer in the contemporary times. Why is he called the born-again writer in the contemporary times? Reason being, he wrote Madhur Bagan in English, one part women. And the moment he wrote this piece of work, I'm sure at least one of you would have read his work, One Part Women. People started going against his work. One Part Women was banned, So he called himself as a dead author who is dead, but then he restarted writing, wherein you have legal bodies helping him sort out where a writer must have his essence proved through its writing. So my research paper is a sincere attempt to explore the intersection of romantic memory and cultural memory towards both nature and opposite sex. So I'm viewing romantic memory in two ways, romanticizing nature, one, and then romanticizing or romance between the opposite sex. Having said this, to prove my order, I would be talking about eco-masculinity in my paper in between, which I would not be briefing in the presentation. And in terms of romance towards opposite sex, I bring in the romantic memory theory. And since his work talks more about culture, like I mentioned, folklore, so I would also be bringing in theories of cultural memory. So the study advocates and aims to identify the various elements to prove that Perumal Murugan is a romantic writer through the techniques and use of memory study. The methodology used is qualitative, so most of you who come from the literature background, we use qualitative methods, and the methods used during the process of study are close reading, exploratory, and textual analysis. The literary text that I've used of Perumal Murugan in this piece of paper is One Part Women, Pyre, Trial by Silence. The most unnoticed element in his works are how Perumal Murugan romanticizes gender and the issues connected and their relationship with nature through the lens of memory techniques. The study discusses romantic memory and cultural memory in detail. The study also answers what makes Perumal Murugan's text a romantic memory. Perumal Murugan has extensively researched on Congo folklore and Congo Nadu culture. Since this is a paper that I'm still working on, so I'm still figuring out a few more theories to add on to my work. Customs and practices and tradition. So I have divided my research paper in two parts. Firstly, part one discusses about romantic memory and cultural memory and its relationship with nature, and part two discusses about the study of romance towards opposite sex. So that was all about my abstract. So the keywords used are gender studies, romantic memory, technique of memory, memory study, cultural memory, and romantic literature. Now, let me just quickly brief you about who Perumal Murugan is as a person and as a writer. So, Perumal Murugan is born in 1966 to a farmer's family. So, his father, supported the family working in a soda shop near a cinema theater, which he also wrote as a piece of novel titled Current Show. So, like I told you, he has written multiple works to do which dealt with casteism, which dealt with lots of elements. And since I'm a PhD scholar, I deeply studied, men and masculinities in the work of Perumal Murugan. And ultimately, I had to bring in memory studies to reach right in front of you to present a paper at IIT Madras. So now I would just brief you about my primary text, that is Pyre, One Part Women and Trial by Silence. So, Perumal Murugan in his Pyre delivered the love story of Kumaresan, who works in a soda shop in Tolur, and Saroja, who